Christian Men's Illustrated, the podcast. My name is Jeremiah Johnson, alongside Greg Walden in the house.
What's up, guys?
All right. It's January. It's not too wintry. It's been fairly pleasant here where we are at in Southwest Missouri. So you never know. You never know.
Yeah.
I feel like everywhere I lived, the statement of people always say, like, if you just wait around 10 minutes, it might change.
Well, it's kind of been a weird winter. It's been a weird winter, but I'm telling you,
February has not come yet.
What's going to happen? It's going to come in. It's going to come in like a lion and smack us like an ugly stick.
Right. Yeah, exactly. All right. Well, it is really what's on my mind coming off the weekend is God, is Jesus, all that good stuff. But NFL on fire this weekend.
Dude, yeah, that's
it was crazy games this weekend. So I'll roll through the ones. Now, I have my son and I, he's a big sports guy, so we always do a bracket, NFL, NBA, March Madness. We're always doing the bracket, so I got him into that now. He's like, Dad, you fill out your bracket. I am 100% all my pick coming out of the weekend. So I'm the Rams beat the Panthers 34-31.
Yeah.
I think the Panthers had the higher seed in that one. If I have it in front of me, they were the higher seed. Yes, the Panthers were the higher seed, 4 and 5 seed. But I always I'm a big fan of McVay, their coach of the Rams, and they get the win. Yeah. Matthew Stafford looking like an MVP.
Nice.
And so they get the big win there. All exciting games, 34-31. Yeah. The one that I really watched every second of was the Packers and the Bears game.
Yeah.
Which was 31-27. So it looked like the whole game looked like the Bears getting beat. It's over. Yeah. Super big disappointment. This was, their potential year to make a run at everything. They're the number 2 seed. The Packers are the number 7 seed.
Oh, man.
So, it's like they should win this game, right? And they were dejected, down. I mean, people, as they're doing the cams, fans are depressed. They know it's over. They come back in the fourth quarter, score 25 points.
Oh, man.
In the fourth quarter. And it's one of those games where you're like, did the Bears lose it? Or did the Bears win it? Or did the Packers lose it? You know what I'm saying? It's like you want to give credit to the Bears because they did come back. But
So what was the score? And what was the score before they started to come back in the fourth quarter?
Yeah, so let's see. 14 plus 7 is 21 to 6 heading into the fourth quarter.
So
there's no reason you shouldn't hold on to that lead.
See, no reason. I think what a lot of these teams do, and I've seen Kansas City do it. And I don't know if it's maybe a mentality where in the third quarter they're up by several, like they need 3 scores to win. And the way they've been playing, they get to the losing team. Like Green Bay may got 0-2 overconfident, and then they just kind of like slacked off a bit and got whipped.
I think that's what there was a multitude of coaching blunders, but in my mind, the Packers lost that. The Bears didn't win it because you should. If you were up in an NFL, you're 21-6. You should win that game going into the fourth quarter,
right?
Because it's really nothing more than a couple possessions of eating up the clock, maybe getting a field goal, letting other opposing teams score 1 touchdown, but to let the opposing team score 25. In the fourth.
Yeah, it was probably more of a loss of discipline because, like I say, football, you have to play 4 quarters. You can't play 3. You got to play 4.
What's funny is they made the trade for Micah Parsons via the Dallas Cowboys. Micah Parsons tweeted that out on X, exactly that. He's like, guys, this is a 4-quarter game. We got to play 4 quarters.
Yeah.
They did not. They lose. So the Bears advance on, and they're pretty stoked. And the coaches don't like each other. If you watch the end of the game, when they shook each other's hands, it was very cold, so I don't think they're going to be having a vacation together anytime soon.
I've seen teams that, I remember years back. Is like, oh gosh, I can't remember how many years ago. It was a Chiefs Indianapolis game, and at halftime, Chiefs were up 35-10, and then my wife comes in. There's no way they got this. There's no way, and they lose.
Yeah, it can happen. It's who was that? Denny Green or whoever was. It's why we play the game. This is why we play the game, because you don't know what can happen in NFL. Then we have the Buffalo Bills beat the Jaguars, and again, I was 100% all my picks. I should have gambled this weekend. This was the week for me to gamble.
Oh well,
no, just kidding.
This recording may come back to bite you, man. You be careful.
Yeah, no, I shouldn't. I don't gamble. Even though, what's the one? We live in Missouri, and what is it? DraftKings has come to Missouri, and it is on every one of my YouTube.
You see it all the time. Yeah.
DraftKings has now come to Missouri. Blah blah blah. I could have done well, I guess.
Dave Ramsey even did a tweet on DraftKings like, dude, this stuff is evil, man. Don't He was like,
Dave.
Yeah, he doesn't do.
He took a check.
Yeah.
Dave took a check from DraftKings. So, all right, Buffalo Bills beat the Jaguars 27-24. I'm not a believer, was never a believer in the Jaguars. We are the show me state. You got to show it to me, and they didn't. So, Josh Allen, here's what I would say is I am pulling for the Bills because with the Chiefs out of the picture, and surprisingly, the Chiefs are not missed this year as much as I think a lot of people, whether you're a Chiefs fan or not, are like, man, this is going to be a weird year without the Chiefs not in the mix. But they weren't missed. These were excellent games. But, in my mind, Josh Allen is one of those guys, like, is he going to get to the end of his career, have a Hall of Fame career, a good career, making all kinds of money, but will the definition of his career be, I never got over to win a Super Bowl because of Pat Mahomes?
I don't know,
He's got to get – this is the year. This is the year.
I don't think – I think I'm still thinking the Broncos, man.
Yeah. But listen, Josh Allen, he is an amazing quarterback. He's fun to watch. And they're doing the tush push now. The Bills are doing the tush push. And they're doing it better than the Eagles. I hate that play.
I hate that. Yeah. I think that play should be banned.
I do too.
It's wrong.
I do too. So then we have the 49ers beat the Eagles, and this is a crushing loss for the Eagles because the 49ers are a demolition team. I mean, they have so many players injured.
Yeah, that's crazy.
And they were able to overcome coaching. I'm such a believer. Again, one of my primary factors when I'm picking these games for me is coaching. And we see a bunch of good coaches year to year, but Timothy McVay, Ben Johnson, Bills, their coach, I'm a little indifferent on him, but Kyle Shanahan with the 49ers. These elite coaches, I'm always rolling with them. You're going to have a chance at the minimum. And sure enough, the 49ers with Brock Purdy, they get to win 23-19 in the Eagles.
I'm just not a 49ers fan.
I'm not either.
Not since Joe Montana.
Yeah. And I don't think they will probably go any farther than this, but for them to make it to the playoffs, to get a playoff win is a credit to Kyle Shanahan as a coach. The resiliency, the teamwork, and the Eagles they're on the verge of having to blow this stuff up. And the big thing for the Eagles is their quarterback. They don't know what to do because he can't throw the long ball. They spend a bunch of money on receivers.
Well, they're too worried about the tush push. I mean,
they got problems. The Eagles, and it just shows you, man, every year can change just like that. In the
I'm not an Eagles. Thing is, I'm not an Eagles fan either. So I guess. I'm not a big 49ers fan. I'm not a big Eagles fan, but I guess in this game I kind of tended toward the 49ers anyway because I don't like the Eagles.
Yeah, and then the last game was the Patriots. As of right now, at least, there'll be a Monday night game, but the Patriots get the win over the Chargers, 16-3. Wow. Remember the Patriots? Remember that team? They used to be a dynasty. They used to be Super Bowl. Tom Brady, and now they're back in the mix.
I feel bad for the Chargers, man. It's like they looked so promising, and
they had a lot of injuries. Wasn't really expecting them to win. So as of right now, next game up, we have the number 1 seed, the Broncos, going against the Bills.
And I'm picking the Broncos.
I'm gonna go with the Bill. No, I'm gonna root. Let me rephrase that. I'm going to root for the Bills. I picked the Broncos. I don't gamble, so I don't have to worry. So anyway, then we have the Patriots to be determined. We'll see what happens tonight in the Monday night game. Then we bounce over. We have the Seahawks versus the 49ers.
I'm picking the Seahawks now.
I picked the Seahawks, but
I think the 49ers.
So again, the Seahawks, these are these teams like, can they really – when the lights are shining bright, when the studio lights are on, when the stadium is filled and the pressure's on, the Seahawks, can they win it?
I still think this. If I'm going to pick an upset underdog, if I'm going to pick an upset game, this will probably be it.
Yeah. So I don't know what'll happen there. Then we have the Bears versus the Rams, and again, that's an potential upset game for me. I actually picked the Rams to win here.
I'm going to pick the Rams there.
I like McVay. I think he just has the ability, but now he's going up against Ben Johnson, two elite young coaches. I think all these games are going to be great. This is really, really, really a great year for the NFL. It's kind of refreshing. As much as I didn't like the Patriots. Well, you probably didn't like the Patriots, I'm assuming, because AFC.
I wasn't
a Chiefs fan.
Yeah, I mean, I'm a Chiefs person, and what kind of turned me off on the Patriots is the cheating scandals that were going on. So I kind of lost respect for them. Yeah.
Here's where I was at with the Patriots is that I didn't like them, but then as they keep winning Super Bowls, you can't help but respect them.
Right.
You can't be like, Tom's the GOAT. Tom's the GOAT.
Yeah. I like
Tom. You can't deny Tom is the GOAT right now.
I like Tom. I mean, I like Tom Brady. Yeah. I mean, he's a good – I mean, you can't take that he's a skilled player. He's one of the best quarterbacks ever to play the game. I still like. I mean, I'm still biased toward Joe Montana. I'm sorry. I'm just old school.
Right. Yeah. So anyway, that's what. And with that game, so I think the Rams again. My final pick was what was the Broncos? I think I went 1-1. I went Broncos Seahawks with the Broncos win the Super Bowl. What was my pick?
Yeah.
So very happy coming out that. But it is going to be very interesting because I have this pulled up right now. As of right now, there are 8 NFL coaches that have been fired.
Yeah, it's firing season.
So a lot of guys in potential teams might fire their coaches because, if things unfold like right now, the LaFleur with the Packers, it's up for debate whether they're going to bring him back. He's in the last year of his contract. Most NFL teams don't like to bring a coach back on. They call it a lame duck coach when you're in that last year of a contract. You don't have an extension. So they're figuring that out right now. And then you have the dynamic of Harbaugh from the Baltimore Ravens. He is available. So some teams are like, maybe we should fire a coach so we can try to hire him. That's not a guarantee. So
yeah, but this is crazy how people just – I mean, the thing about being a head coach – is like you don't hang your pictures up in your office. You don't personalize your cubicle because you don't know if you're going to be there next year or even at the end of the year. And there's already people harping about, even Kansas City fans harping about firing Andy Reid because of the poor season they had.
And you have to be careful. I think there's a little bit of bouncing back or getting me on the screen here. I think there's a little bit you got to be careful not to overreact, right? Because it's like, so here's the thing. If you fire Andy Reid, who are you going to hire?
Right.
That's always the problem. It's like you might be like, get rid of him, and there's like, well, Andy Reid's a Hall of Fame.
Yeah, you if without Andy Reid,
top 5 all-time coach,
you would never have
just replace that.
Kansas City would never had the success they had without Andy Reid. I mean,
absolutely.
I mean, look what Marty Schottenheimer. He wasn't a top tier coach. He was a good coach, but he just could not get him past the playoffs during the for a regular season game. Regular season, Marty Schottenheimer was good, but once they got to playoffs, it just seemed like Andy Reid took him up to that level.
I do believe that there's a time for change. Like, for example, Harbaugh was there 18 years. Yeah, for example, Tomlin with the Steelers, these guys have been there 20 years. They've kind of snafu'd it. They've kind of choked a little bit here. Maybe it is time for change. 20 years as an NFL coach is a long time. I mean, but you have to be.
But still, the head coaches are not out on the field throwing the ball. I mean, you got so much player changes throughout every year. It's like players change, people go, they get traded. You get different, every time you change players, you change the dynamics. Like Joe Montana was great with the 49ers, but now they put him with the Chiefs. Well, he doesn't have Jerry Rice or the running back. He has to deal with the players that's on the Chiefs. And he did it, for even change play, he did a decent job, but he just was not at the caliber. Plus, he's older too. He wasn't at the caliber he was when he was at the 49ers.
Yep, absolutely. So there you go. There's a bunch of coaching jobs as I'm looking at it here. As of right now, we have the Ravens, Cardinals, Browns, Falcons, Giants, Dolphins, Raiders, and Titans all looking for new quarterbacks. So maybe I'll put my resume in there. Maybe they'll give me a chance.
Hey, I'll root for you, brother. I'll root for you, man.
Yeah. Listen, I'll take because those guys, because they're saying Harbaugh could be demanding up to $20 million a year.
Yeah.
He's going to ask for that, potentially $20 million a year. So.
Yeah. Well, I mean, it's hard telling because like you could hire a coach and sometimes like it's like players that surprise you, like you players like I remember like a classic case Brett Favre when he first got in as a rookie year, he looked horrible. I mean, I remember watching him as rookie. He looked horrible, and you were like, and look what he turns out to be a Super Bowl winning quarterback. It's like, you just don't know.
Well, Tom Brady, the last pick in the NFL draft, he didn't look amazing at Michigan. Didn't come to the NFL as a starter, only because Drew Bledsoe goes down with a kind of freak injury. Takes over.
Kurt Warner. Kurt Warner was
a
huge example.
Yeah, great example of that. So, all right, bouncing over to you. What do you got over there?
Okay, got a couple stories. Mountain biking news. This is an interesting little bit of tech here for mountain bikes. And most modern mountain bikes, they use the Presta valves. You're familiar with that little net, that little bitty Presta valve.
Basically, for the common man, when you're filling up your tire with air, there's like a skinny valve and like the thicker classic one.
Yeah.
So Presta is like the thin. Usually Presta is for more upper end bikes.
Yeah. And
the other ones you'll see Schrader valves you'll see on lower end Walmart bikes, etc.
Yeah.
So I had to learn the first time I saw one. I was like, I don't know what that is. Now I know.
they're kind of loved and hated. They're loved and hated. I mean, the little core of screws. The problem is, I think it's so easily broken.
Yes.
I mean, so when you're putting air in your tire, you have to be really careful, because if you just yank it off and do this, you can bend that core easily.
Which I've done before.
And if you're using tubeless, which you're putting sealant in the tire, well, that sealant can get in there and gum it up. And so you'll know that when you
tubeless, but yeah.
So because it happens to me several times. Like several times, I go in there and you just put air in it won't take air because the thing won't go down because it's all gummed up with sealant.
Yeah.
So they've got this called Topeak Tubby head. It's a new pump head. The pump head will actually remove the core while you're pumping up the tire with air and replace it while you're pumping it up. We see it's kind of like it takes the core out, pumps it up with air, puts the core in, and also will pop that seal for you. So it's a pretty interesting little tech.
Yeah. It's interesting, it brings up a very, simple question. It's kind of interesting, like, why do tires still use air?
Well, air is lighter. Air actually assists with shock absorption.
Okay.
Because if you go try to ride a mountain bike with a solid rubber tire, you're gonna have a bad time, and it's going to and you're gonna feel
better
like
have the butt padded pants,
and you can feel like you're pedaling a tank. You're gonna feel like you're pedaling a tank.
Yeah.
Because I remember, like, when I was in Utah, I had all the problems with goat heads, especially on the road.
Yeah.
And the trails, you had those goat heads, and if you're not familiar with goat heads, they're nasty little things. They're all over the place, and they love puncturing tires.
Yes.
They love puncturing tires. So when I had that Trek 26er, it's like, I was working on the bike at the apartment. I just kind of taught, so I rolled up the street back just to kind of get a test, and it got ate up with goat heads. I'm like, my goodness, I can't even go up the street without.
Yeah.
So I went to the bike shop and got these the tire inserts, thicker inner tubes are kind of thicker on the tube, and they have some tire inserts. And dude, you felt like you were pedaling a 15-pound heavier bike.
Yeah.
Just by putting those things on. I mean, it was like
you would think that's what I mean. If you really get down in the mountain biking game, which we do, we're not pros, but you can see why the upper echelon pros, like a half pound, a pound, they can feel that. You can begin to feel that and notice weight differential on your bike.
So yeah,
something as simple as that.
So yeah, I mean, obviously, it's a balance game. I can have a lighter tire and easier pedal, but it's going to be easier to puncture, or I can have a thicker tube, but it's going to be a little harder to pedal, and you're not going to win any races because obviously weight is a lot of difference when you're a pro rider. But it's an interesting bit of tech, so I thought it was kind of cool.
All right.
So second, we did talk about Ford exiting the EV truck game about a week or so ago, but now we found out Ford is actually going to trying to get back into the EV truck.
Okay.
But then not with the Lightning. They're actually developing a $30,000 EV truck that will have the world's cheapest electric motor. So now they want to make a $30,000 EV truck that's going to be a little bit cheaper than their Lightning series.
Okay. Yeah, I'm pulling that up. Key details. Ford is developing a new affordable midsize electric truck on a revolutionary universal EV platform. Yeah. Targeting a $30,000 price range.
So I would imagine it's going to be their Maverick series. I would think it'd be their Maverick, kind of closely based on the Maverick.
Trying to find a picture they have of it. They don't really have a picture right now.
Yeah, it's a concept. My guess they're going to take the Maverick and modify it. That would be my guess.
Yeah. Interesting. I mean, again, all the Cybertruck haters, but yeah.
Well, again, like I said, I've never been against EVs. I mean, I think once they get the tech to make them comparable in equitable performance and the infrastructure to match fuel, I think it'd be and also make the batteries cheaper too.
Okay,
which that's another issue. Is like, yeah, you get EV, wait till you have to price that battery pack.
So. Yeah, I'm Googling stuff while you're talking. Tesla has sold roughly 70,000 to 80,000 Cybertrucks in the U.S. by late 2025. That's how many they've sold so far.
Yeah.
I wonder if that's a success or not.
Well, I mean, how much they charge for in a Cybertruck?
Well, I went to Tesla.com literally last night to their inventory. They're $110,000.
Yeah, so that's
They had 3 or 4 in inventory.
yeah, that's
And
a
then
lot
you
of
can
money
customize.
for 70,000 at 100,000.
Yeah.
That's a lot of money.
So it's saying it's underperformed projections with steep drops in 2025, issues like recalls, etc. So,
But there's like this new battery technology. Like they need to get away from lithium ion. Lithium ion is a fire hazard. It's expensive. There's obviously there's still pollution issues because it's got to be mined, and it's mining lithium is not a very
it's like I said again. I think a proper understanding of Tesla is it's a technology company first. It is not a car company. It is a technology company first. And then, oh man, I don't mean to segue off this, but like what's fascinating is everything, if you see everything that Elon is doing, it is actually not for our world. It is for Mars. Yeah. So he has the Boring Company. Have you heard of the Boring Company?
No.
Okay, the Boring Company is like he's developing these underground tunnels in Las Vegas right now, in Los Angeles, okay? Because he believes, at least in our world right now, that traffic, so imagine traffic all just being underground, not above ground. But why is he doing that? He's doing that because when we go to Mars, we're going to have to be underground, okay? So rockets, all this stuff, everything he's doing, robots, why is he so, pardon my language, hell-bent on producing all these robots?
Because robots are going to be doing the work out on the
They're going to be doing the work on Mars.
Yeah.
And we're going to actually have to send robots first. They're going to be working, building this stuff, getting stuff prepped for us so then we can go eventually. But the robots, this is like, it is really freaky to think like everything he's doing is actually not for our world. It's with an attempt to become interplanetary.
I just don't think.
It's really true.
I mean, it's interesting. I don't think it's going to happen, though.
I mean, yeah. I watched a YouTube video. Because I'm fresh off this album, because I watched a YouTube video last night. By 2030, we're going to, so I think what's amazing, tying this into is the spiritual. Like we are just designed to live here.
Right.
And God made us to live on the earth. He made this earth for us to dwell here. And it's like, I don't know if we're ever going to get there because it just doesn't seem like God has built us to live anywhere else.
Right.
That's how I view it.
I mean, I like Elon Musk.
Christian.
He also has some really, I saw a story.
He needs Jesus.
I saw a story last week about Elon Musk. Like he's dreaming like there's something going on. He's like, everybody's going to have millions of dollars and you're going to be able to have everything you want. I'm like, that's pure socialism and it's evil. And now, that don't. It sounds nice on paper.
Universal income. We're gonna have this great universal income dystopian. Like I read an article when I was breezing through stuff. Yeah, he believes we don't even need to might not need to save up for retirement because AI is just gonna make everything perfect.
I'm sorry. That's straight out of Marxism. That's straight out of Marxism. That's straight out of Marxism. It sounds great on paper and Okay, here's a question: who's going to work? If everybody's getting millions of dollars, there's no incentive to work.
Yeah.
So if nobody's working, how are you going to get all that free stuff if no one's working to make it?
Yeah. Well, to me, the answer is simple in terms of evil. You can't erase evil. So whatever technology you develop, there's going to be evil, sinful people that are going to grab hold of that and do bad things with it.
Yeah. So I mean, if the only perfect world that's going to exist is when Jesus Christ comes back and rules.
There's enough wealth in the world to eliminate starvation right now, right?
Yeah.
Easily.
Yeah.
Easily. If we we could end it right now. There's all these things that we could do. Why don't we? Well, because they're sinful people. They're hungry. They want a mansion. If we just distributed the wealth and we could easily spread that out across the world. Everyone would be fine, but we don't do that because we're sinful people. Yeah. We're our own self-interest, yada yada. Essentially, it comes down to sinful nature.
Yeah. So, we're all sinners. I mean, sinners do what sinners do. And
right.
So, you'll never have a perfect world until sin's removed. And the only thing that's going to remove is when Jesus Christ comes back and takes it out.
Yep. Amen. All right. You got any other stories there?
That's it. I got.
All right. Well, as we enter into a new year, I mean, I'll give you one Bible verse. I don't know if you have any spiritual stuff that you want to present, but one thing is I talk to my boys a lot. This is out of Proverbs chapter 11. Where are we at? Proverbs chapter 11. Verse 25, and it says, a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. And so as I come to a new year, I take in the mindset, I want to give God my first and my best, but I want to be the Bible says that it's better to be the giver and not the taker, you know, to be the lender and not the borrower, etc.
Right.
And we, specifically as Americans, have been very, very blessed, and we are richer than the majority of the world.
Mm-hmm. True.
Easily.
Yeah. Oh, yeah.
And so what are we, you know, the goal now is to take our resources to develop ourselves so that we can be a blessing to the world. That's kind of the way I just summarize it. So it's like with my boys, it's like I'm trying to invest in them so that they can invest themselves into the world, into the local church, and to making the world a better place for Jesus, obviously. You know, and so one thing that I think really needs to be a part of the believer is being a generous person, a generous spirit. You know, it's like the other day, I didn't make this decision. I won't go in depth so as to lose my blessing, but there was a person that we knew that was, you know, financially struggling a little bit, you know, and so my wife's like, hey, I gave that person some money just to let you know. So I'm like, well, you didn't ask for my permission first, but no, it's like, I didn't say that, but it's like, man, it's great that I'm in a position that I can be the giver,
Right.
that I can be like, hey, I'm not there right now, but I at least can do something to give to that person.
Right.
There's a blessing in that. And so we need to, listen, it wasn't that much, et cetera. I'm not necessarily a rich person, but I just know that generosity wins every time. And God brings blessing and prosperity to us when we take on that generous spirit.
Right. And, you know, it goes on to favor as well. I mean, and it's like if you look at the parable that Jesus said about the talents, you got two people went and invested and doubled the investment. And you had the one person that just kind of just buried it in the ground and didn't do nothing with it. I mean, Jesus said the person that buried it was wicked, and he blessed the two that invested. And so like the idea is you're investing in other, you know, the idea to me, like, I mean, obviously he's talking about financial, but investing in taking the talents that God's given you and investing it toward the kingdom, toward reaching others for Christ, you know, blah, 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 versus I'm just going to sit on it. And or I'm going to use it for myself, and I don't care about others. I'm going to use it for myself. That you know, hoard. You know, God doesn't bless you to hoard.
Yeah,
that's wickedness.
Yeah,
God bless
and to the extent that my wife and I, you know, we have, and it's not bad to have some money in savings. You're trying to be responsible, right? You're trying to be a good steward of what you have. But then there's just a time to just bless people. Like I remember this was last year. I got convicted. I was with a friend. Were we going to lunch or something? We were just in our cars hanging out, and he's talking about how oh man, I'm trying to get these Bibles over to Africa. And, you know, he wasn't sharing it with like, hey, can you give me money? He was just talking about it. Mm-hmm. And as he's talking about it, it's like, you know, I have the realization, like I have money in the bank right now that I could give him. So I literally I was like, we're driving by the bank and I pull over and I just walk over to the ATM and get $100.
Right.
And he's like, what are you doing? I'm like, just give me a second. And, you know, just give me a second. So I walk over there, I get $100 out of the ATM. I walk back in the car. I'm like, here you go, man. Just buy some Bibles.
Yeah.
Cause it's like, dude, there's, you know what I'm saying? Like how often are we missing just little things like that? I'm sitting there with someone that I know who's a friend. He's talking about Bibles that he wants to give to Africans. I literally have resources.
Yeah.
Like, why am I not being like, why in that moment, why did it take the Holy Spirit having to like kind of give me a little nudge to do that?
True.
You know, like why I'm so like, listen, I don't feel like I got blessed. I feel like I got convicted and I had to have the Holy Spirit be like, hello, like,
right.
Like, you're supposed to give, man. So anyway, that was mine.
So to bring on, the thing is, if you have the capacity to meet whatever need, then meet it. I mean, you see, if I see a need, and I have the capacity to meet that need because God's given me the resources to do it, then there you go. Why should you have to ask God? Should I meet that person's need? If God's convicting you, He's already telling you meet that person's need or whatever, you know. Yeah,
and we have to give without giving something back. Okay?
Right.
You know, it's like the other week I did some work. How can I make this very general? I did some work where normally I would be compensated for that. Okay, and so I did that, and I felt like I did a good job, and I was not compensated, or at least up to this exact minute, I have not been compensated for that work.
But you will be compensated.
Yeah,
in
right,
heaven.
right. Yeah, and I will. And so it was like one of those things of like, I had to overcome just a little bit of frustration to be like, I'm not doing this for the money. I'm not doing this for earthly compensation. I'm doing this because I want to minister to people.
Right.
And hopefully what I did will make an impact and effect. And here's what I know is as far as monetary stuff, like I'm not rich, but listen, I can pull up the bank app right now and it doesn't say negative. So praise God. Let's just keep going forward.
Right. Yeah. and so the Bible tells us, lay up your treasures in heaven.
Yeah.
If I do something and then I expect somebody to give me an earthly reward and they do it, well, you've already got your reward. Yeah. I believe you lost your reward in heaven because you expected your reward on earth. You got it on earth, whatever way. But I mean, obviously, if I go up there and say somebody does something, I do something for somebody, and I'm like, hold my hand out, like, hey, you should compensate me, and of course they do it because they feel guilty. Then how can I expect an earthly work? It's like I wasn't. My focus was on getting my reward on earth versus getting it in heaven.
Yeah, and you have to you have to use wisdom. I'm definitely an advocate of using wisdom. For example, because I'm a pastor of a local church, right? We get people asking for money all the time. Missionaries, benevolence, right? And we don't have the capacity to. If I said yes to every person that called, gave us a piece of mail at the church, we would be poor, right? Yeah. And so an example would be the other day, a person comes up and was like, hey, can you give us money for a hotel? People, I had no idea who they were. So I just asked some basic questions. I was like, okay, well, where are you from? Oh, we're from this area. And I was like, oh, wow, you need, how did you get here? Did you walk or you have a car? Oh, our mom gave us a ride. Okay, well, can you stay with your mom? No, her boyfriend won't let us, And so I kept going down. I'm not trying to put these people down, but I just kept asking these questions that were kind of like, hey, it sounds like you have the ability to have housing with some family, but you're just trying to get some money. And
right.
It's like this discernment and I always feel it's hard, like to discern who should I be helping and giving. Because again, all of us, we could give, there's tons of needs all over the place. So you do have the element of discernment. But I'm just talking about, as men specifically, because it's a podcast, Christian Men's Illustrated podcast, learning a spirit of generosity, learning to live that, and to say like, listen, I've been blessed.
Right.
I'm a blessed Western American person. I have resources that many, many people don't have. And I don't want to waste those. I want to use them effectively, but I want to prosper. And just the Bible tells us when you can be the giver and not the lender, when you're a generous person, like that's a unique place to be in. And we can't not overlook that and not realize that we're blessed. And so God, because I'm in this unique position in humanity as a blessed Western American, free, essentially rich person compared to the other world, God, I need to use my resources for the glory of your name.
And being generous, going back to what you said about helping people helping you, I think we should have wisdom, obviously, because to me, there's a difference between a hand out and a hand up.
Hand up, yep.
So if I give to this person, am I enabling them to stay being irresponsible and in their rut, or am I actually actually helping them out of their situation or out of their rut? So it's like say somebody's a drug addict, comes up to you, is like, I need $50 because I need a place to sleep. Now, if I give them that $50, are they actually going to do that? Or are they go out and buy drugs?
Yeah.
So should I give that person $50 knowing that person is going out and buy drugs with it? You're now participating in their drugs. So obviously there's a discernment. Obviously you, as a Christian, we should have discernment, when helping others.
Yeah.
And it's not a lack of generosity if I refuse to give to somebody who's going to use it irresponsibly or wickedly, or not use it to, fix their situation.
Yeah. So I've had those discussions before as a minister, as a pastor. I've had those dialogues and discussion, but just to keep it simplified, it's just the Bible says a generous person will prosper. Whoever refreshes others will be refreshed. So if God has blessed us as men and as followers of Christ just look for ways to be generous.
Right.
And it's amazing how refreshing that can be to the other person, right? That whatever it is, I don't throw out what other examples, but like when you learn to be a giver and a generous person, it brings refreshment to that other person.
Right.
And the refreshment and the kind of the unique supernatural biblical principle is that actually the refreshing that you get by giving can almost be more refreshing to you than it can be to the person you're actually trying to be generous to, and that's kind of the spiritual dynamics work.
Well, look at the story where Jesus was saying, when did we not clothe you? When did we not do it? Well, I was in jail. You didn't do this. You didn't do that. So, like, when you don't give, you find out that maybe God wanted you to give, but you didn't. Well, now you didn't give to Jesus, and Jesus is like, yeah, I was in jail. You didn't give. Or when I was this, you didn't feed me. Or I was thirsty. You didn't give me drink.
Yep. So just a little insight for you guys as we begin the new year. Let's try to be generous men of God, whether it's whatever, our workplace is, our church is, missions, missionaries, etc., all that kind of good stuff. So, all right, we'll see what happens next week in the NFL, but good to talk to you guys later.